Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I'm gonna do a full face of the Sephora bestsellers from my home country, which is Sweden. We are gonna see which ones are the ones that are selling the best at Sephora Sweden, and maybe you can have in the back of your mind if you're living in a different country, if it's the same where you are, if this is the most popular makeup in your country as well. Gonna do full face. Some of these are tried and true favorites that I've had for a really long time. Some of these are first impressions, and I'm super excited to be digging into these things. And if you haven't been here before, if this is your first video here, hello, my name is Angie. I'm such a lover of beauty and makeup. I love everything beauty and makeup related. I love finding new favorites, love finding old favorites, you know, shopping my stash, but also trying some new brands and some new products. My absolute favorite thing is really colorful things. I don't think that that's what we're gonna get today, because you're gonna notice that Sweden is a little bit more of the neutral leaning lovers, but that's perfectly fine. I love everything makeup related, and if you want to see some more makeup videos, don't forget to subscribe because I upload 5 videos a week. So like I said, Sweden is a little bit more neutral leaning when it comes to makeup love, so I will chat a little bit more about that once we get into it, so to speak. I don't have anything on my face right now except one of my favorite summer moisturizers. I will actually link that down below as well. You always ask me about skincare and stuff like that, and I'm the worst. I'm the worst at letting you know like the skincare that I use. Let me know if you would like to see more stuff like that, because I can totally make that happen. Like I said, a couple of these things are first impressions and a couple of these things are tried and true. So why don't I just zoom in a little bit, because this is ridiculous. We can't be this zoomed out, and we can start with foundation and concealer. Oh, wait. Primer first. Primer first. Let me actually put that on. One of the best selling primers at Sephora Sweden, let me take off my ring, is actually the Milk Hydro Grip. I don't have that much left. First, when I got this one, I was like, it's okay. But you know what? I really enjoyed this one. I have one of these small ones. This is #1 on the best selling when it comes to, because we have a category, I don't know how Sephora looks in other countries, but in Sweden we have a category that says primer and setting sprays. That is the category, and #1 is this primer and #2 is the setting spray that we are going to use at the end. But I actually really enjoy this primer, and I actually, at first I was like, I don't see a difference, but you know what? There is a difference. When I use this, my makeup does stay on longer. And I feel like the best benefit of this one is that this one keeps my makeup being transfer proof longer, so that my skin doesn't break down the foundation. You know, with time, sometimes transfer proof foundations, they tend to break up a little bit, and when you touch your skin, like you can feel it on your finger. This elongates the time before that happens for me with a couple of hours. So I actually have been enjoying that primer quite a lot, and I think I might repurchase. I didn't think that, because I remember saying at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I'm just gonna use this one up, but now I've grown to really love it. Okay, I zoomed in a little bit, and the best sellers when it comes to foundation and concealer in Sweden is the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer and foundation. And these have been on the best selling list for a really long time in Sweden, and I don't think this is my shade. Listen, Sephora Sweden's website, they have a lot of things that aren't perfect. So satisfying. One of them being that they do not describe shades on the website, and I don't understand why, because it would be so easy for them to just grab the information from Sephora US or just the brands on websites, because when I need to wait, why do you hate me? Look at, okay, here's the thing. When you need to buy like foundations or stuff on the Sephora website in Sweden, there's no shade descriptions, there's nothing. You have to go to the brand's website and find the shade descriptions. So sometimes, well, that isn't that bad. That isn't that bad. I don't know what shade I got. Well, I do know what shade I got. I got 25N, so it's a, I would say that this is a medium neutral, because I do have some self-tanner on, and I usually use foundations that are medium, and this is maybe a half a shade too dark for me, so I would say that this is a medium with a neutral undertone, the 25N. I didn't know how this foundation was, so I didn't pick up a warm shade, because sometimes warm means not yellow, and I needed to be yellow, so, and also the shade descriptions weren't that easy to decipher, so I got this one. And you know what? This isn't that bad, but that also shows me that this is not gonna be that good. This, like I said, this has been on the bestseller list of Sephora Sweden for months. And the bestseller list in Sephora Sweden, I'm taking another smaller pump. This pump bottle was really nice, because you can really, like, you can choose how much you want to get out. Some pump bottles, you always get too much. I really like the pump of this foundation. The thing with Sephora Sweden bestsellers is that I don't really know what they're basing it on. I mean, of course they're basing it on the things that are selling the best, but I don't like during what time. Because you can go into Sephora during 3 different times of the day. I'm taking a little bit more just for the forehead. If I go in the morning and then during lunchtime and then in the evening, the top list, the bestsellers, is going to look totally different. So it's like the bestseller when? The last 20 minutes? Like, it's not always the easiest to decipher because I don't think... I wish that the bestsellers were like, these are the bestsellers the last 4 weeks. Instead of being, this is the bestsellers the past 20 minutes, which I feel like it is. And Sephora usually have like promotions like 20% off all foundations, 20% off all blushes. Like that happens quite often in Sweden, like we're spoiled like that. And that of course, since the bestseller list is, I think for quite a short amount of time, the bestsellers are always going to be what's on sale. So when I did this, I picked things that I know that I've seen on the bestseller list for a longer amount of time. Like these two. These two I have seen in the top 1-2 spots the last couple of months. Is that because it's Sephora brand and Sephora wants them to be at number 1? Or it could also be that Sephora brand is actually quite popular in Sweden? Or is it because it's a really good foundation? I will say, first impression, medium coverage, natural matte finish. I don't hate how this looks. We'll see how it wears, of course, but first impression, pretty nice. Just trying to clean off the bottle of it. Quite nice. But some of these things, like I picked the thing that are the first thing that's not on sale, or I picked the thing that I know that I've seen on the top list quite a lot these past months because I have been preparing this video for over a month. That's light. This is 13. Oh my lord. This is not my shade. This is not my shade. This is not my shade. We're doing the Kardashian super bright look today. Maybe I'll actually like... Let's see if we can... Look at me being beauty guru 2017. Hold. It does blend out really nicely. It's pretty creamy, but not like, it doesn't feel like greasy. I would say more like creamy moussey than creamy like oily. Blend it out really easily. I wouldn't say that this is like a full coverage. I would say that this is a medium to full coverage because it's not like that, like you can see, it's not that super full coverage that like covers up everything. We are gonna see how I like this. I mean, if I like this formula, I will of course be matching or like mixing this with a concealer of a darker shade in the future. Now I'm just for the sake of this video continuing with this, but like I can see, I have eyes, I can see that this is too light for me. Yeah, it's definitely not full coverage. And I'm not loving the texture under the eyes. Not loving how this is gripping on my pretty textured under eyes. Not sure how I feel about that. So far I like the foundation a lot more than I like the concealer. I think this concealer, for being this medium coverage, shouldn't look this makeup-y under my eyes. It's like you're getting the worst part of a full coverage and the worst, like you're getting the worst parts of everything. So I'm not sure about this concealer, but it is what it is, I guess. I have not used this one. I bought this, all of these things I bought myself. Should I say that? I bought all of these things with my own money. This concealer is looking like death under my eyes, but I guess that's the life I'm living. This is the bronzer that I got. I got it in Macchiato. I think we're gonna use a brush. None of my brushes are clean. None of my brushes are clean, actually. I'm gonna start using this. This has been on the bestseller list, like the top 5 for half a year, let's be honest. It's been in the bestseller list, sometimes number 1, sometimes number 5, sometimes number 2. Today when I watched, like I said, this is different every day I'm watching. Today it was number 4. Also the powder bronzer from Fenty is basically almost always on the top list as well. So I decided to do a first impression of this one because I bought it like a month ago and I hadn't used it. This is going on really nice. I like this color. It is like, sometimes bronzers are too warm and sometimes they're too cool. I feel like this is a nice middle ground. I don't have any clean brushes, and actually this morning my husband was like, because I'm filming this on a Saturday and usually I don't film on weekends, but we are going on our honeymoon soon. I don't even know when this one is going up. This one might go up while we're on our honeymoon. I'm just trying to pre-film a bit. I mean, I love filming and I don't want to leave you dry while I'm off soaking in the Italian sun. But I didn't have any clean brushes, and my husband was like, I feel bad for you having to work on a weekend. Like, is there something I can do to help? And I'm like, actually, one thing that I could use some help with is my brushes. And he was like, okay, show me. So actually, as we're talking, he is in the kitchen cleaning all of my brushes. And it's like, I'm not even kidding, it's like 300 brushes. So he has a bunch of my brushes there, and the ones that I have left here are like all dirty because I haven't had time. I've been working so much. I've been working like 13, 14, 15-hour days the past couple of weeks, and then I was in Stockholm for this press thing, and it's like, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, and I'm so grateful to have a husband. Like, get yourself a husband that cleans your makeup brushes. I really like this color. This brush wasn't perfect for this. It needed to be cleaned, and it's like, but I like using cream bronzer with a brush, and I like trying if it's possible. And this is definitely possible to do with a brush, and I actually really like this color. I feel like it looks really good. What doesn't look good is this concealer. Look at this. Look at this. It's like it disappeared from my under eyes and all migrated into my wrinkles, and it's looking really textured here. Whoever is loving and buying this concealer is not a 37-year-old lady. Let me tell you that. The top list when it comes to blushes, I've seen both of these blushes at the top list. The Rare Beauty. Rare Beauty is pretty new in Scandinavia, so I'm not surprised that people are excited about it. This is the blush. I don't know the name of these, but this is the one that's like a cream one. It's a nearly apricot, and this is the one that's in Joyride. Yeah, I think it's like just a pinch. These have both been on the top list since they released in Sweden. Right now, this one is actually higher than this one, even though I think that that one is better than this one. This one, I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty. It's a pretty color. It looks pretty when you put it on. It's easy to work with. But the longevity of this one, it's like 10 minutes. Like, it might be gone after ending this video, if we're gonna be honest. But why am I putting it under my eyes? To be fair, this blush under my eyes might be better than what this concealer looks like right now. But I'm gonna use this blush, and I like the color of this blush. I like working with this blush. It's just the longevity, it's like nothing. Which is a shame because it's so emollient and it just sinks into your skin and disappears. That's not ideal, but that's the life we're living. The highlighter from Rare has also been on the top list since this was released. Also something that's been on the top list a lot in Sweden. I don't own a lot of product from Milk, but Milk makeup is on the top list for both bronzers and blush and highlighters. Though the Milk makeup brand is doing so good in Sweden, I guess, just based off like how people are talking about them and how the top list has looked. So I'm gonna be using this Rare Mesmerized liquid highlighter. I really like these. This isn't the color that I would have chosen for myself. It's like a cool toned rose gold. I like just dotting it on and then just dotting it in with the brush. I would have picked this color for myself. I would have picked something that's a little warmer because I like that on my skin tone. But I still think that this is not too icy because it has a little bit of the mauve like undertone, so it still works on me, but it's just a little bit too icy for what I go for. But I do think that this is a really nice product. Look at that. I honestly think that this is a really nice product, and I totally see why this is a bestseller. You get a ton of product, it's really easy to work with, and it comes in quite a few shades. I could see myself getting this in that like light gold shade, because I honestly think that that would be even better for me than this one is, and this one isn't bad for me. But Rare Beauty is not sold in store in Sweden, it's only sold online, so I haven't been able to like swatch it. If I saw it in store, I probably would have bought another shade last time I was at Sephora. We don't have Sephora in my hometown, and that's why I had to order all these things. But I really like this highlighter. Let me put a little here. I like putting highlighter above my brows because I have a really wide but short face, and you can see my forehead is like the smallest forehead in the world. So I like putting a little highlighter over here to elongate my face and to fool you all to thinking that my face is longer than it is. I'm gonna set my under eyes. I don't think I'm gonna set the rest of my face. I'm just gonna set where I put some concealer. And one of the best selling powders in Sweden, this has been #1, this has been all kinds of numbers, and this is the Fenty Beauty loose powder. I have it in banana. This is the smaller size. I really like that you can buy it in a smaller size. So I'm gonna set under my eyes, and honestly, what I don't like is this, like this poof. Do you see this mess? Maybe I shouldn't have the poof in here. Yeah, I think that's what I might do now that I think of it, because I don't like that poof in there. It just turns into an absolute mess. Like, look at this. Like, what is this mess? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's a mess. So I'm just gonna see if I can set this situation a bit. Do you see how that concealer just clinged onto that powder? This concealer is the worst. Who in their right mind is buying this concealer? That is the worst. Actually, you know what? I'm taking that off. This concealer, no, you don't get to play anymore. You don't get to play anymore. I'm taking this concealer off. I'm putting on one of my favorites. Don't buy that concealer. Of course, I'm gonna try it out more just to make sure that it wasn't just today. But I hate that. Absolutely hate that. I'm not gonna go around looking like that today. I'm also gonna do my brows. Be right back. Okay, so I switched out my concealer for the Kosas concealer. Kosas is not available on Sephora Sweden. If you're living in Sweden though, you can get Kosas at Cult Beauty. There's no like taxes added when ordering from Cult Beauty to Sweden. This is available at Sephora US though. This looks a lot better under my eye. I will say though, I have this Fenty powder in banana, which it does oxidize. This powder, when it hits the skin, it makes it a bit darker if you're trying to set your concealer with it. So therefore I like this one a lot better on my skin. It's a perfect finishing powder for my skin, but under my eyes I don't like it because it goes darker. But we're gonna cover that up with eyeshadows anyways. Just giving you a little mini review of how I feel about this powder. Beautiful on the skin. For me, at least this colored one doesn't work under my eyes because it does deepen up. Much like the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder also deepens up my under eyes when I try to set my concealer with it. Personal preference. I'm gonna do lips first because I've been wanting to try this for so long. This is the Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0. This one is the #1 on the bestsellers on Sephora Sweden. It has been since it released. This is a very popular lip contour. I actually bought this myself when I was at Sephora Sweden, and I also bought the lipstick. This lipstick, this is the creamy version. Let me actually pull this one out. This is the creamy version. I got it in the Rasha. It is the perfect color for this. This creamy version is not on the top selling list, the bestseller list, but the matte version is. So I will be using this one, but just know this isn't part of the bestsellers, but I will top it off with this Fenty Beauty Cream Gloss. The cream gloss, the cream formula, is actually higher on the bestseller list in Sweden than the other one is. At least the last couple of times I've looked. Smells a little sweet. I do have this one in Honey Waffles. I am gonna top my lip color off with that. This is the first time I'm using these two products, but I have tried this before, and personally I like the non-creamy version, like the original formula. I like that one better than this one, but apparently the sweets do not. I've talked about this before. Remind me, maybe if I put this up while I'm on vacation. If I forget, I will try and put it in the description box, but if I forget, check back on my videos. I do have a video where I'm comparing the bestsellers of US Sephora to the bestsellers of Swedish Sephora. And I said there that some of the brands that are extremely popular in Sweden is Huda Beauty, Fenty, Milk Makeup. Those brands are so popular in Sweden. I mean, you saw this based in these brands. And also Sephora Collection. Sephora Collection is really popular in Sweden. This lip liner is very creamy, maybe even too creamy for my liking. I feel like it's really hard to be precise when lip liners are a little bit too slippy. I do love the color though, the color is golds. Although this is the lightest color now that I think of it. And like I said, I do have a medium foundation on. Maybe they could go one shade even lighter. Because this is like deeper than... That's just me. I really like the color though, and this one has one of these like sharpeners at the end if you wanna like just make it a little sharper. Oh, it is a twist top. Okay, okay. Then I like it a bit more actually, because functionality is a must. This is a perfect one to put in your purse then, because you don't need to bring a sharpener. Okay, I do like this, but it's not my favorite. It's just a little bit too smeary for my liking, and I kind of like that they had one, if they had one shade even lighter than this, because this is the lightest shade, and I prefer having a lip liner that's my lips but better, and this is clearly darker than my lips, and I am nowhere near a fair skin tone. So I prefer when there's something that's slightly lighter. This is of course personal preference. I'm just basing this off me. They did have quite a lot of shades to choose from. I just picked the lightest one. Oh, I'm gonna love this. Oh, baby, let's get married. Ah. Oh, I spy with my little eye something that I will buy in another color. What a lovely, buttery, comfortable, but still opaque, shiny lip color. This is not even on the bestseller list, but I will say, this foundation, I mean, I see some imperfections peeking through. I love how I say imperfections, but we're all perfect with our imperfections. Our imperfections are part of our perfection. But it hasn't moved into my smile lines. It haven't moved into my fine lines. I actually might like this foundation. Natural finish, medium coverage, doesn't move into my smile lines. What do you know? Let me top this up with some gloss, even though I don't know if we even need that. This is of course this is an opaque lip gloss. I just wanted to try the lipstick. This is an opaque lip gloss. This one is a little bit like yellowy in the undertone. I really like this color. I do prefer a gloss though that's not 100% opaque. If you like a pigmented, opaque, glossy, like not like watery but still not sticky, you would enjoy this one. Personally, I like the one that is the original one because it has a color but your lip color or the thing you have underneath still peeks through. I have a lot of products on my lip. I'm gonna put on some eye primer. I didn't check which eye primers are on the bestseller list. I am using the Natasha Denona one. I'm almost out of this one, and this is in the light shade in the original packaging. This is why mine is looking a little bit different. But I'm gonna put this on and we are gonna do a natural eye look. I know. One of the palettes that's been a bestseller in Sweden for a really long time since it released is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And I'm a little bit surprised that this is higher on the list than the bronze palette. I actually bought both of these myself with my own money when they were having a little bit of a sale, so I decided that this was the perfect opportunity for me to get... Do I have any brushes left, or did my husband steal all of them? Whoop. I'm gonna have to do with whatever I have left. This one apparently. This one apparently. And I mean, sweets love their neutrals. I'm gonna be honest with you, sweets love their neutrals. I said I was gonna do something natural. I'm not gonna do something natural. I'm gonna do something neutral. So I'm gonna do something dramatic but still neutral. I'm gonna start with this one. I don't like that they're called like crease transition. I don't like that. It's not the life I'm living, but I'm gonna take that one. Or am I gonna take... No, I'm gonna... Now I'm like debating. Do I want to have this one or do I want to have this one? I think I might want to have this one. I know, me picking a more brown shade, but I'm just really leaning into this. Oh, sometimes you almost forget how good quality the Natasha Denona shadows are. Crazy. Crazy bananas. Can I move this mirror closer without you seeing the mirror? There we go. Okay. Much better, much better. Do you hear my husband in the background fixing the brushes? He's having his headset on with really loud, like, death metal. So I don't think he hears him doing the brushes. This, I mean, it looks brown. I'm happy I went with this one. Wow. Sometimes, are you that person? Sometimes when I'm trying to tell a story, I will start in the middle of the story. And the first part of the story, it's only in my head. And then I'm surprised when people are not catching on. I'm like, how are you not understanding what I'm meaning? are you not, mind readers? But I'm happy I picked this color that was a little bit more brown, because the other one would have just looked straight up gray on my face, and this one is more taupey. So I think I have lash glue on the bottom of this one because it was like stuck to my desk. Oopsie. There is one that's called Blend next to it. It's like a lighter one. So I think I'm gonna, well, actually blend with this one. Why don't I go full makeup newbie and just follow the instructions? It says blend with this one. So we are blending with the blend shade. I'm not the biggest fan of brands telling me what to do, but hey, Natasha, you get to tell me what to do today. Okay, so I used the same shades on top and underneath as well. So I've only used, let me show you again. I've only used these two shades, and now I'm gonna use this one. She's calling it lash line, but this is where I'm like, no, no, sorry, Miss Natasha, you don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my real dad. So I am gonna put that in my outer corner, because this is the life that I'm living. I might do an all matte look because I love that. Because we have this, I was like, I'm gonna let her decide. No. Out the window, we're not doing that. I get to decide. This one that's called Transition, I think we are renaming. Maybe I should just move them. It's now a lid shade. One of these really shiny ones is called Brow Bone. No, I don't like a shimmery brow bone. It's not the life I'm living. It's not my mission in life. So I'm using this one that's called Lash Line, and I'm deepening up here. Really like the quality of this palette so far. I am gonna deepen this up because I love that. I love a really smoky eye. If I'm gonna do neutrals, I don't hate neutrals, I really don't. But if I am gonna do neutrals, I get bored by neutrals more easy than color. Maybe I should put it like that. I need it to be dramatic. I literally have no brush to get rid of this. I'm winging it at this point. Okay, so this is the dramaticness that we are gonna go with, and I'm taking the shade that's called Transition that I have now renamed Lid Color, and we are, I just love a really dramatic matte look. All about this life. Oh yes. So yeah, I'm just gonna push this on the entire lid, clean off the brush a bit, and just brush it in to the shadows. And over here, I'm taking a little bit of the one that's called Smoke, the first dark shadow we used, and I'm just blending in between these. So there's somewhat of a transition going on, and I'm just going in between. Sometimes with matte shades, you need to go in between to get it to be the opacity and the contrast and the transition that you are hoping for. But yeah, I think that this is the look that I'm doing. I really like this. Isn't that cool? It's so dramatic. Big fan. Okay, big fan. I like this palette. This isn't, okay, listen. I bought this palette for comparison reasons. This isn't my dream palette. I do love cool tone neutrals, but not really on their own. I probably would spruce this up a bit myself, but for the sake of this video, this is apparently what the Swedes are loving, and I'm not surprised. Like this, and maybe not as a dramatic version, that's what I see. That's what I see every day in Sweden, and I do think this is one of the best-selling palettes in the US as well. I think people really do love these neutral and more cool tone taupey leaning neutrals. I do think a lot of people actually genuinely love that color scheme. Okay, so I did a little mascara. I'm just gonna put, this is actually a Sephora brand. This might be on the bestseller list because when it comes to eyeliners and pens like that, Sephora brand is doing really good in Sweden. Although I will say I don't think that this one is doing that good, but I think it's because it's old. I think this eye pencil is like 4 years old. Am I asking to get an eye infection? I don't know. But I like having a black waterline when I'm doing dramatic looks, so that's what I'm doing. I didn't really look at the mascaras that were on the bestseller list because I don't care about mascara. What I do care about are lashes. And I told you, Huda Beauty is a brand that's doing so good in Sweden, and most of her lashes are on the bestseller list. So I decided to, these were on number 2, the spot number 2 when I was checking this morning, and these like Huda lashes have been on the top list all the times that I've looked, and these are, I'm failing, these are the Hootie lashes. Mine are pretty well used. I've probably used these more than 10 times. Probably 15 if I'm gonna be honest. So these are not looking brand new, but these are really nice lashes. They're dramatic and they're a little bit like wispy. You can see they're like not like they're not like super thick and full. They look really nice on the eyes, and they have a see-through band, which are really like, those lashes are really nice if you are a bit unsure about lashes, or if you don't like doing eyeliner, because it's easier with a see-through band. Sometimes, I will say though, when you're doing a see-through band, it's even more important that the lashes are of good quality. Otherwise, they're going to be super hard to bend, super hard to shape, and they're going to be so hard to put on the eyes. These Hootie ones, really nice. Okay, so the makeup look is all done. The Hootie lashes are on. I usually try to do my bangs in this way because I have something that's like pushing my hair in this way, so this gives me a little wave. This is what we're doing. The Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This is number 2 in the category primers and setting sprays. So this is the best selling when it comes to setting sprays, and the Grip Primer, this one, the Milk Hydro Grip. This is the best selling primer. This bottle is old as sin, so don't judge me based on how this bottle looks. I feel the same about this one as I feel about the Hydro Grip. For a long while, I was like, this doesn't do anything. But I will be honest, when I use the combo of these two, and I have tried like not using them, using them, it does elongate the wear of my makeup, the time it takes before it breaks down, the time it takes before it starts traveling or starts being non-transfer proof. It does elongate the time that takes. So honestly, I don't think it's a gimmick. I think it actually works, and that's just my humble opinion. At least for me it does. But yeah, this is a full face of the Sephora Sweden bestsellers. What are the bestsellers in your country? Is it the same kind of a thing? I will say the number 1 palette, like eyeshadow palette, for months has been a Sephora collection 6-pan palette. I don't know if that is actually the bestseller, or if it's just like it's Sephora brand, but it's affordable. Sephora brand's doing really good in Sweden, so I wouldn't be surprised either, but it's like that one is the bestseller. But I saw them in store in Sephora and I wasn't overly excited, and I knew that I did have a couple of the neutral palettes, because all the bestsellers, neutrals. Neutrals, 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 all the bestsellers are neutrals, so that's why we're doing this Natasha Denona glam look. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know down below what you think. Do you agree with these bestsellers? Do you think sweets are crazy? I mean, we kind of are, but can't do much about that. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!